Good morning. I just want to say good morning to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Good morning. We're talking about St. Thomas, St. Croix, St. John, Water Island. As usual, the usual thing. And, I just wanted to take this morning out to first and foremost with the opening remarks, of course, updates is what I call it. I just wanted to be able to extend a congratulation to the Territorial Spelling Bee champion. And let me see if I pronounce her name correctly. And anyone is welcome to correct me if I'm wrong, but Shadia Courier. Shadia Courier. She actually won the Territorial Spelling Bee, and I think that, we need to congratulate her, reach out to her, encourage her, because we're looking forward and to pushing her to winning the National Spelling Bee. So congratulations again to Shadia. And if I'm mispronouncing your name, please let me know, because I'd like to correct it. But that's the way that I see the name is to be pronounced. But she won the Territorial Spelling Bee, and I mean to emerge as one of the top spellers in the territory. Speak volumes about your preparation, how they have honed your talent, and how they have actually shaped you to be able to be such a master speller and to be able to rise above all your peers. It speaks in itself to just your dedication and commitment to education, but also, learning from your teachers and your teachers encouraging you. And I know that you had a lot of practice sessions, so I'm sure that you're thankful to all them individuals that have been part of your preparation. Again, congratulations. And folks, if you have an opportunity, you know this person personally, reach out to them, congratulate them, and encourage them as they move on to participate in a National Spelling Bee. And this morning, I just also wanted to say to all those folks out there that have lost someone, whether it's over the weekend, over the past week, over the past month, but just to extend condolences to all the families, because every day, that you're getting up, read a newspaper or hear the radio, the obituaries, you're hearing someone that you know. And I don't know if it's that the older you get, the more people dying And it seems like that's a true saying, because I've heard people say that before. And, every morning that I wake up, of course, I take the time out to look at the obituary and try to extend condolences to those individuals. And, it's really, even myself, when it's gotten close to home, I wanted to extend condolences to my cousin Vicente Donestog, who lives in Atlanta and recently passed. Juana Donestog, his sister. I just wanted to extend condolences to you guys, because I know how you must be feeling. But the one comfort that I have is that he not too long ago came home, and we're able to spend some time together where he was just so excited after recovering. He was just so excited to dance bachata and salsa and all that type of stuff, going out to some of the different establishments. And, to watch him enjoy himself after coming back from such a severe illness, bouncing back and have that kind of energy level to be able to really dance and stuff like that. I know that it's a comfort to me to know that he was happy during that period. But we all are going to live this experience, folks. And that's why I wanted to say this morning, to be comforted in whatever fond memories you have of the individual. And Vicente's family, I just wanted to extend condolences to them, being a part of my family. And it's quite shocking. And of course, to lose a loved one is always quite shocking. But condolences to many of you out there who have lost a loved one. Moving on the updates, I was actually I was reading the newspaper on Friday. I think it was Friday or Saturday. And, I was truly amazed that The Epstein Island is on the market, folks. And the Epstein Island is on the market for $125 million. I'm just wondering what amount out of $125 million that we would be able to recover, that we are going to receive. Because, you know, I'm still dead set on maybe the Virgin Islands government taking and owning that island where we can use it to our advantage. But then, of course, that's another issue to talk about. Yeah, the Epstein Island is up for sale. It's on the market for $125 million. I got to do some research and find out exactly what was paid for the island and how they determined the appraisal or the estimated value would be $125 million. That seemed like a lot, because I don't think that's what he paid for that. But nevertheless, I think that it's up for grabs, as I would call it. And folks, it's hurricane season. Hurricane season, what does that mean? Hurricane season is coming up. I think it's June 1st. We're in March going into April. But before you know it, May is going to pass by us quick, and we're going to be in June. And, you know, my biggest concern right now is for the many Virgin Islanders whose homes are either compromised or whose homes are just, when I say compromised, some are more severe than others. You got some folks that are still living under blue tops. And you know, a blue top cannot even withstand heavy rains, much less thunder, hard winds, and everything that comes with a tropical storm. God forbid that there's a hurricane that hits us. I don't care what messages the different agencies who are charged with the responsibility of helping us to prepare. I don't care what message they have. It's actually whether or not we reach the folks that do not have the resources to properly prepare themselves for a hurricane. And homes certainly are not really prepared or reinforced to be able to withstand heavy winds, rain, or, you know, even a hurricane and the intensity of any hurricane. We learned, many of us who lived the experience. I've been through 5 hurricanes, and I can tell you, going back to Hurricane Marilyn, start with Hugo, Marilyn, Bertha, Irma, Maria, and I think there was one in between there. I'm kind of forgetting that one. But God forbid that a hurricane hit, because I'm driving around the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I'm not just talking about St. Thomas, where I reside, but I'm talking about St. Croix, St. John, that still have homes that are compromised. And I understand over on even Water Island, there's a couple of homes that are compromised. And you have a number of people in the Virgin Islands who are still waiting for assistance from this Envision program, Envision Tomorrow, or whatever it's called now. But they're certainly waiting for some kind of assistance to be able to feel secure and know that, you know, that they're prepared to enter hurricane season. And notice, folks, I'm actually mentioning this far ahead of time. Why? Because there's an old saying, when you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And I keep saying, and I keep repeating this every Monday, because that Envision Tomorrow program, I don't think have really accomplished significant strides to date. Maybe they may have fixed 1, 2, 4, whatever number of homes it is. But we should have had over 100 homes repaired by now, or the total amount to be repaired. So what does that tell you? That tells you that there is a need for them to embark on incorporating or collaborating with a lot of the local contractors, offer reasonable rates for them to be able to come in partnership, or if they have to create a group of them, get together to create a super contractor, then so be it. But something needs to be done. You got such a number of people out there, I'm telling you, driving around in Anna's Retreat, Old Tutu. Well, Anna's Retreat includes Old Tutu, but new Tutu, old Tutu, the valley, Hidden Valley, and you go on and on. Nara, Bordeaux, Mahogany Estate. I've seen homes that still have blue tops, homes that still have portions of their structure. It's obvious that they've been compromised. Cracks in the wall, you name it. These are folks that have to go through the hurricane season. Even if there's no hurricane, we know that there's going to be heavy rains at some point. The end of Carnival, historically, we see some kind of rain. So we should not wait for people to beg for help. We should start reaching out and making sure that assistance is provided to these folks. And I'm telling you, I'm going to repeat this every Monday because I'm hoping that they get up off their laurels and start to address that issue in the most vigilant way. And I mean, fast track it. Then moving on, there seemed to be something brewing with Carnival. I've seen 2 different schedules of Carnival. And if you followed my program in the very early stages, I attempted to encourage a diplomatic approach by the administration to even the Virgin Islands Carnival Committee, because I cited several different issues that could potentially be a stumbling block for the administration. But unfortunately, in some instances, I saw where an administration started to approach the issue in a very clandestine way, almost like a hostile takeover. No, things shouldn't be that way. We have to find a way to make this work, folks. And it's not about acquiescing to the demands of anyone. It's about saving the richest tradition, saving a major component of our culture, and our culture being Carnival. I mean, unfortunately, we will not have Carnival races this year because that's another issue that I commented on last week. And of course, before I close off on this issue with the Carnival fiasco, I understand that something is looming and there could potentially be a court case where there's going to be a request or a claim that will consist of requesting a TRO, temporary restraining order, to actually stop the progress, stop any entity in being able to proceed with what is considered proprietary information. And if you recall, you know, I have this tendency of, and I get criticized for it, seeing things far in advance, and I get criticized. But I don't think people weigh in on the content of my message. And that's where sometimes folks get lost when it comes to statements that I make. And whether or not it is not something that some folks want to hear, I cautioned the administration from before in terms of how the transition takes place and how Carnival is going to be taken over. And of course, they didn't listen to those caution and proceeding in what I consider in some instances to be very clandestine in how they decided that they were going to trump a private entity, a non-profit corporation or not-for-profit corporation. Because you see, if you were not careful and you establish a precedent, it could potentially be you're violating their constitutional right and creating a precedent that if challenged, you're going to have problems. And I think we're at that crossroad. And let's hope that we can recover for it, because after all, Carnival belongs to the people of the Virgin Islands. Festivals could be private, festivals could be whatever. But Carnival in itself, if you have legislation that affords a private entity, as I had envisioned from very early on, we got to be careful how you're taking proprietary information because you permitted it to become proprietary information once you allowed for a trademark to be achieved that consists of the Virgin Islands, its name. So whether or not you're going to take the avenue to challenge that particular issue remains to be seen. But it appears that a carnival took place. It's fractionalized to the point where we might be at an impasse, and being at that impasse, who suffers in the end? Virgin Islanders who believes in the culture, who loves the culture, Virgin Islanders, and I'm not just talking about the Virgin Islanders who are here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, but I'm talking about those who abroad come to the Virgin Islands just to enjoy what is considered part of our culture, where we have troops, we have fetters, people that participate in carnival for one reason or the other. It is of value to many people. So I'm hoping that this, whatever is existing, that the administration take a different tack in how they proceed to try and make sure this transition, as they call it, take place. Because I think that there might be irreparable damages. And in having those irreparable damages, that there's a possibility that they can't take back some of the actions or some of the things that was done. But it's going to be interesting what's going to take place in the next coming months. But I just wanted to bring that issue up. And when we're talking about carnival, we also had the St. Patrick's Day celebration, where I have to give the organizers kudos, because those organizers were able to organize in record time, and the participation by the administration was exemplary. And I'm going to say it was exemplary because everything was on a fast track, no stumbling blocks, and they were able to organize and able to have something that wielded large numbers of people. And that's because Virgin Islanders included Virgin Islanders a lot, because we know St. Patrick's Day doesn't really represent our culture. However, it is an activity that draws people from different walks of life, draws people from abroad to visit the Virgin Islands, and that all contributes to what? To tourism. So it has become a part of our tourism product. Now, for a lot of Virgin Islanders, we can only hope that as we approach Carnival, everything is fast-tracked. And with all the schedules that you have out there, because I think that if the Virgin Islands Carnival Committee is holding activities, and the Virgin Islands government through the Department of Tourism, Carnival and Festivals, or Festivals and Carnival Division, is holding activities, that we find a way for them to coexist and not disrupt Carnival completely, provided that the events are not conflicting. But as Virgin Islanders clamor to our shores, they're looking for activities. So the more activities, the better we will have. And when we talk now, shifting over a little bit, I was surprised. St. Kitts Festival. Have you guys seen the lineup of St. Kitts Festival? I can't believe it. But they have some headliners. They have several headliners. And that is going to be probably one of the bigger festivals in the Caribbean that I've seen. But the festival committee down there in St. Kitts need to be applauded as well, because they have grown. I have watched them evolve from the first festival to where they are today. And it speaks volumes about the members of that festival committee who are able to organize and become so competitive, coming back and stepping back to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Do you guys remember when we were, in fact, the front runners when it came to festivals and carnivals? We were the front runners. When St. Croix used to have the Jazz Festival, that was highly supported by the private sector and government. But somehow those things have diminished, and we can only hope with the opening or COVID subsiding that we find a way to encourage these organizations to once again start trying to organize these events. Because when you're talking about a tourism product, marketing and packaging the Virgin Islands effectively, it's your ability to provide activities within for folks to be able to have something to do. And if I may simplify it, have you noticed that the major grocery stores, for example, I'm going to use that as an example. Major grocery stores don't advertise every single product they have in the store and every single product that's on sale in the store. What they do is they identify what they feel are hot commodities and they advertise it. Whether it's 2 5-pound bag of sugar for a low price, you get 2 for the price of 1, or you just reduce the price, but they have to buy 2. But my point is, when you're marketing and packaging the Virgin Islands, you can use Carnival. In the past, I have suggested that we use Timmy Duncan. Into the future now, we have athletes out there, Aaliyah Boston, that can be an ambassador for the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I think she's providing the U.S. Virgin Islands with invaluable recognition advertisement. So we have to start being creative now. I saw that she did a commercial for Pro Solar. Where's the Virgin Islands government? You know, that's just my opinion. And of course, I'm hoping that it doesn't fall on deaf ears. So when you see that they embark on it, then maybe they're listening to some of the things I say. Again, don't kill the messenger. Listen to the content of what the messenger is providing. And I say this quite often. Just listen to the content. Last but not least, on updates. I heard the governor in a school telling a group of school children and teachers that there's no money for school repairs and that there's only monies for one school to be built. I listened to the message attentively, and I was a little astonished because with all the money that the U.S. Virgin Islands have and with all the creative minds and innovative minds that we have in government, you would figure that today that they would have a better message than that, a message that is encouraging, a message that seeks to build hope for Virgin Islanders, especially for our kids who are in the public education system. They want to hear not what's wrong and why it's happening and that you don't have money. We want to hear about your efforts, your strategic way to achieve exactly what needs to be done. Where is the strategic plan in terms of repairing schools and not having your teachers and students in the school under the most adverse condition or dangerous conditions? We want to hear that there is hope. Well, and you know what I said before, and I'll say it again. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Folks, this morning, as I indicated and I shared with you, it's open discussion for who wants to call, share their concerns about any particular issue, because we have a lot of issues. I received a number of calls over the weekend. People complaining about roads and what is going to be done with roads. They're repairing roads, not at the pace that I would have wished for, not at the pace I think is encouraging to Virgin Islanders, because you are the ones that traverse these roads every single day. And in traversing these roads every single day, we do know that it could be costly. Now, when I say costly in terms of every time your car goes down in a pothole, for those of you who don't understand the parts in a vehicle that could potentially be damaged, the CV joints, the front end of your vehicle could be damaged. It could be costly repairing it or have to replace any of those components. So that's why you hear folks complaining every day, because they are trying to avoid that happening. And not to mention, when you're driving on a road, You want a nice paved road where you could drive and don't have to worry about bouncing up in the seat of your car, almost hitting the roof of the car because you went down in a trench. Not just a pothole, but something that almost close to a canyon that your car could go down in and could potentially cause an accident. Not just only destroy your vehicle, but cause an accident. Because if you're navigating peacefully and this abruptly happens that you did not see, it was invisible, and you go down in a pothole, God protect you that that doesn't actually transpire here. But some of the questions that I wanted to ask in this open discussion, going from one extreme to the next, is, are we experiencing an inflation? And when I say are we experiencing an inflation, gasoline, the cost of gasoline is going up everywhere. But we do know, because of the tiers of costs that even gas station owners experience as they bring gas into the Virgin Islands. You also have a 15-cent tax that the government puts on it. And I just learned that there is some relief on the rising in the form of a political ploy that they would try to suspend 15% government tax on persons, consumers, as they go buy gas, hoping that the gas station owners reduce it by the 15% or 15 cents that the government will not collect. But then they intend after the election to hit you with a 30% increase or 30 cents to recover the 15 cents that they would have suspended. Wow, this is interesting. But I'm taking notes. I'm paying close attention to a lot of the stuff that's transpiring, because when we talk about inflation, are we experiencing an inflation in Virgin Islands? We're talking about groceries. We're talking about the cost here in the Virgin Islands. And there's so many, like I said, there's so many different tiers that businesses incur as they try to import goods into the Virgin Islands. And that includes even the costs for internet service. I saw that Liberty, who has taken over AT&T in the U.S. Virgin Islands, they're advertising in Puerto Rico 300 megs for $79. But here in the U.S. Virgin Islands, when we look at the equivalent, the competitors, because Liberty has not embarked on internet, well, I don't think yet. But are they going to offer this in the Virgin Islands, forcing some of the competitors to provide better packages for the consumers? Because I'm looking forward to paying $79 for 300 megs and hoping that that upload speed or its download speed is over 10 megs just on that end alone. Because that, you're talking about record speeds, good speeds. I'm looking forward to really having a true gig in the Virgin Islands in every household at a reasonable cost, an affordable cost. Because you see, all of this adds into all the other costs Virgin Islanders are experiencing. And I'm saying we need to be cautious because, yes, we understand evolution as we evolve from one era to the next. There was a day when we were paying cents on the dollar for groceries. Those times are way gone, where you had Grand Union, that you were able, Grand Union and Pueblo and all the major supermarkets were really competing against each other in those days. But the cost to do business was a lot lower. Because over the period, what have we experienced? We have experienced gross receipt taxes, excise taxes, an increase in gross receipt taxes, which is the most regressive tax that we have out there. Businesses have to pay 5% on whatever they make. It doesn't matter. Your expenses doesn't make a difference. You got to pay that 5%. And we have experienced from 4% to 5% as we evolve. The cost of living, inflation here in the Virgin Islands. Has our infrastructure, moving on to just parts of the discussion this morning in terms of open discussion, has our infrastructure improved in the last or past year? I mean, are you guys witnessing how we have evolved, and are we getting any better? Is the infrastructure looking any better to each and every one of you? Because I take note on the waterfront project with the past governor, Governor Mapp, who embarked on that, and I think that that's a beautiful project. It is a beautiful project. The Veterans Drive. It seems as though they aborted changing the name or a portion of Veterans Drive into another former governor's name. But I haven't heard about that idea in quite some time. How can we improve the VI? I mean, what are the suggestions that the public have on improving the Virgin Islands? I know that there's a lot of things that we can do here. I can throw a lot of ideas out for the private sector to embark on, but the cost to do business is getting so high. That's what is probably discouraging a lot of people. But we need to start grooming our young people, and I've said this from before, so they take those chances in spite of what they think the deterrents are. And I'm talking about teaching our young coming out of school 5th, 6th grade, 4th grade. Actually go far back 4th grade. Teach them the basic principles of money management, because then by the time they graduate from high school, they're ready to go. Those are the future leaders. Those are the ones who are going to take the real chances to move the Virgin Islands, not in a different direction, but to a different level. Because I feel that there's a lot of positives in the Virgin Islands in spite of all the negatives that we see. Is commuting an issue for many? And when I talk about commuting, I'm talking about commuting to St. Croix or St. Croix commuting to St. Thomas. I'm talking about commuting to St. John. Are there any issues that people are concerned about? Because, every once in a while, I take the time out, jump on a boat in a vehicle, in my vehicle, to go to St. John and just spend the day there, come back on the barge, because, there's barging service available between both islands that you could go over there and spend the day and come right back on the afternoon barge. I had such a wonderful day going over there and having lunch. But it's all there. But is commuting an issue? Do you believe that we need to create or add to the cadre of services that we have, or the cadre of businesses that provide these services between inter-island travel, that we have boating services, additional boating services that bring people back and forth from St. Croix? Because you see, that is important. That's exactly what draws us closer. And then we don't have to worry about too much divisiveness, because we have become detached as districts. So commuting could be a major issue, or could contribute to bringing us a lot closer in terms of the districts. What are the positives in the Virgin Islands? And I want to just hear from the public. The number to call here at WSTA is 340-774-1340, 1340, here at WSTA. But let me turn this ringer off. Again, the number to call here at WSTA. The number to call here at WSTA. But even before I move on, and while I wait for persons to decide that they would call in, I wanted to share with you guys over the weekend from last week. There was a situation where actually we heard some testimony, and in hearing that testimony, United States Congress, I'm talking about now, going on to national news, there were an attorney, actually a judge, that was nominated by the Biden administration to actually be on the Supreme Court, to become a Supreme Court justice. And you know, politics is an interesting thing. I just watched how along the party line that this lady, and I'm talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson, and I refer to her, let me give her a title, Honorable. The Honorable Ketanji Brown Jackson. How she was viciously attacked from persons across on one side of the aisle, as though, you know, it's really unfortunate because it's Democrat versus Republican, Republican versus Democrat. And when you have individuals being caught in that crossfire like that, of course, they're going to dig up every skeleton they could find. But as an African American woman, a strong woman, and if you followed and you do some research in the past, ain't everything positive in terms of positions that she have taken that is going to pop up. But the one thing that you have to applaud is that the road that she took to get where she is. And you know, there was commentary provided by individuals like Cory Booker, who it resonated with me as he spoke, because I think it touched the core of a community, and it was so uplifting, and to watch her even cry, and her husband in the background actually crying as well. It almost brought me to tears. And I don't know any of these individuals, but just to witness the behavior, the environment, the different players there in the midst, and how the questioning and the content of the questioning that came from both sides of the aisle, and some coming from the side of the Republicans. It was so polarizing, but to see how she sat there with such grace and such humility, and in particular, and I'm going to play it for you, I listened to her when she spoke about the separation of powers. And that was of interest to me, because in the separation of powers, and as she broke it down, Article 1, Article 2, Article 3, the three branches of government, and how they're supposed to coexist, but how they're supposed to function, it was so amazing just to listen to her articulate herself on record. But let me go to the first telephone call. Good morning, you're on the air, connect the dots.
Yes, my man, how are you doing?
I'm fine, I'm blessed. How are you?
I looked at most of that hearing today, and that lady was attacked for three basic reasons. She's female, she's black, and she's interracially married. See, I'm a retired military, and when I went to the United States initially in 1959, at that time, the military, I was in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, with the 82nd Airborne Division.
Yeah.
And there was a city outside called Fayetteville, and that city was completely segregated. Okay.
Yeah.
And they are still going through the same thing today. I mean, as a matter of fact, did you know that today the president is going to sign a bill into law? It's called an Emmett Till lynching law. Okay, I mean, it took them from all those years to now to sign a bill into that's like that anti-lynching. And yeah, either way, I'm gonna give someone else a chance to call too. But
that's okay.
Hey, that isn't that much has changed. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm retired military. I've dealt with Americans, all right?
Yeah.
Korea, Germany, Vietnam, Panama, and a lot of them, they take that racism. I don't care where they go to, they take that with them. Okay? And I don't know if you remember, she mentioned her name, Constance Baker Motley. You ever heard that name before?
No, I didn't hear that. Yeah, I didn't hear that part of her testimony. I didn't hear that part of the testimony. I may have missed it.
Research.
Okay, I will. Constance
Baker Motley.
Okay.
Her parents came from Nevis.
Yeah.
She was born in Connecticut, and because of the racism that lady experienced, racism, sexism, that lady decided to study law, and she came up with a lot of firsts, man. She became one of the first black women to argue a case before the U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, she argued 10 cases and won 9.
Yeah.
No, I don't know how familiar you are with that case, what they call Brown v. the Board of Education.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She wrote that brief for Brown v. the Board of Education. Then Thurgood Marshall argued the case. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Then she was what you call that, with the desegregation. She got this guy named James Meredith admitted into Ole Miss, and there was a senator. I have a website. I just put him on my website too.
Yeah.
And James O. Eastland, and because of that, okay, he held up her nomination. She was the first black too to be nominated for federal judgeship, and he held up her. He held up her nomination for about a month because of stuff like that. Hey, I've seen that in the United States from 1959 to I retired 1 January 1986. And I saw that stuff all the way. Either way, give someone else a chance to call you, my friend.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for enlightening us. And certainly I'm going to do a little... Thanks for enlightening us.
Yeah, and
thank you.
You know, I'm writing a book right now.
Okay.
And I'm talking about some of my experiences in the military. I need to have my book edited, okay?
Okay.
But the time, if I can get it edit and published, it's called Another Soldier's Story. You mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I look at all the... Okay, you take it, man.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Yes, that individual enlightened us about some history when it came to black women, and I'm going to research some of that, the background of that individual that she called Constance, and see what exactly comes up. And I have no problems with sharing with you what I find at the next radio broadcast. But I wanted to play just a caption of what I heard for you guys to be able to hear exactly. Well, let me answer this next call, and then I'll move to share that recording with you. Good morning. You're on the air. Connect the dots.
Yeah, Mr. Donista, I'm going to make it real quick because
Sure.
you're going to play something or whatever.
Yes, go ahead.
2 points. One, with you were asking a question about the improvement, infrastructure and whatnot in this place. In this place.
Yeah.
No. Zero, zilch, nada. With all the billions of dollars we supposedly get in here from FEMA, government aid, federal this, federal that, zilch. Okay? It going into major projects and here, there, and everywhere, to make the administration look good, he and his friends. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. Okay, because people suffering. We have been suffering for years. Now things worse because of the pandemic, inflation, Putin and trying to start World War III, blah, blah, blah. The only thing that has improved is the techniques in which our misrepresentatives, not no leader, because they just they leading us over the cliff, and I don't know, maybe the grace of God, why we ain't gone over yet. They no leaders, representatives, our misrepresentatives, you know what I'm saying? Their technique and their social circle or their BAM. The techniques have improved to rob, mislead, oppress poor people at their own benefit. I don't care who gets vexed. I have been saying this. I've been seeing it for donkey years. Coming and it's here. In every shape and form, whether it's housing, health, education, food, you name it. And I came to find out a couple years ago that this entire territory, or this island in Pacific, was cut up into 8 pieces, owned by certain families. Anyhow, moving along. Now with the judge, Honorable Judge Ketanji Brown,
yeah,
I am not surprised. I am not surprised one bit the way how those Republicans went after her, because they were done gearing up. You know, they're spiteful. And I am talking about the Republican politicians. I'm not talking across the board Republican people in general, because you have good and bad in every segment. Whether it's good and bad black people, good and bad white, good and bad Asian, you name it. But the politicians in general, specifically, the more things change, the more things stay the same. These Republican politicians, they're trying to hide, but they can't hide. They are racist to the ground. Racist, selfish, and spiteful. And very, very disrespectful. And they throw it right in your face, and they don't care because they have the money and they have the fellowship or the fellowship with their Ku Klux Klan and their good old boys, you name it, or the QAnons. Yeah, they are well represented. You know, and they on their knees praying to whichever Satan that Donald Trump get back in. But I gonna pray to my God that whosoever think that they're greater than the Creator, I got news for them. Keep it up. There is a greater justice in this world than man. And my Obia and God put together greater than all these racist, trigger-happy, wicked people. Hallelujah!
Okay,
have a good morning.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, people have their respective views, and she had a couple good points there. And it's going to be interesting how things evolve on the political front, not just nationally, but locally as well. Let me go to this call, and then I have to go to that recording. Good morning. You on the air? Connect the dots.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Senator Dinosaur.
Morning.
I'm calling from the mainland, and I was on hold. But I wanted to mention to you before your program ended.
Sure.
That this thing that really got me a little frustrated, where the governor was speaking over at the OMB conference in reference to there's no skilled workforce in the Virgin Islands, in which or on the mainland that is willing to come back, and they're looking outside to subcontract or contract these positions. It really, really opened my eye, and I didn't like what he was saying in reference to bringing others in and subcontract out these jobs. There are people here in the Virgin Islands. I had to move from the Virgin Islands to the mainland because his people are not hiring the skilled workforce. I know some time back you spoke about taking a van and just driving into communities and he will find skilled people.
That's what he said?
Yes, he said ONB conference, Facebook, Jennifer O'Neill conference with the revenue projection.
Yeah.
A question was asked by Alma Highlaga Center rep over there, Ms. Shah. She asked a question, and the governor was on the mic, and he said that the baby boomers are sleeping somewhere. There's no skilled workforce here, and they would have to bring in other people, whether it's Haitians or whoever, to do these jobs. And at this point, he's just telling his people to send the, and I'm trying not to get passionate or trying to stay calm, to send these things by contract them out, contract these positions out to fill out, whether it's applications for housing or whatever, what they, I know 8 months left into the administration. They're trying to get people in homes and applications filled out. But what he doesn't realize, the team or the leadership head are giving him, deceiving him of information in reference, they're not hiring qualified people. I could speak to it because I have a PhD, 25 plus years of government experience, and I have applied several places. And they're not hiring the skilled workforce. So I don't know where he is, but he's being deceived. I was on another radio station because I didn't like what he was saying, and I didn't appreciate what he was saying, because we are trying to apply ourselves, get back to our community, and all we're hearing, yes, you don't have the matching funds to match the job. You want to offer a PhD 50,000, but you're going to give a college graduate with 4-year degree who has no experience 55,000 in a fellowship program. Yes, it's wonderful you have a fellowship program. It's wonderful that you have training for the young people, but you still have to incorporate the skilled population, but your people are not hiring those people. And that piece you don't understand is an internal issue he has, and the internal issue he has is going to trickle down to his election and the vote of the people who are leaving who can vote for the election. And that's my take on it. You can respond, and I will leave it there, okay?
Okay. Okay, thanks. Thanks for calling.
Okay, no.
Well, let me just comment on that briefly. It was, if you guys recall, and for those of you who have followed this program, I said from the very early part of even starting this radio program, Connect the Dots, I had sent a message to the administration via this medium, encouraging them to prepare a bus, drive it into the housing communities and other communities to try to recruit some of the local people to contribute to the labor force that you have here in the Virgin Islands. I know people personally. I know guys personally in Oswald Harris Court, Paul and Pearson Gardens, that have skills, that can do tiling, that can do electrical work, that can do construction work. And they have gone to different places to try apply for positions or apply for work. And for some reason, there's no structure in place to direct them where they need to go to be gainfully employed. So there is a disconnect somewhere. So I understand what the caller is saying in terms of recruitment that is going outside. And then along the political lines, and this is where we're going to have to find a way to put the politics aside and start looking for ways to still get these individuals to be part of the decision-making process. And I'm talking about the individuals who are professional, who possess, like the lady that just called, a PhD, that she's able to participate, to give back, but certainly to offer her expertise towards being part of this local workforce and being able to provide something. Let me go to one more call, and then I'm going to break to a POTUS message, and then I want to recognize the sponsors as well. Oh, I lost the caller. So let me play this recording for you of this lady, and I'm talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson, and as she went before the United States the Senate, because you see the Senate is the Senate, the United States Congress is, there's two different houses.
Most important bulwarks in our constitutional system against the abuse of executive power, against tyranny.
The Constitution, in its design, puts the legislative authority in Article 1 and gives it to the Congress, the power to make laws. It puts the executive authority in Article 2 and gives it to the president, the power to execute the laws. And it puts the judicial authority, the power to interpret the laws, in Article 3 and gives it to the court. The separation of powers is crucial to liberty. It is what our country is founded on, and it's important, as consistent with my judicial methodology, for each branch to operate within their own sphere. That means for me that judges can't make law. Judges shouldn't be policymakers. That's a part of our constitutional design, and it prevents our government from being too powerful. And
like Ginger Rogers said, I did everything Fred Astaire did, but backwards in heels. And I want to tell you, when I look at you, this is why I get emotional. I'm sorry, you're a person that is so you're a person that gender. You're a person that gender. You're a person that gender. You're sorry. It's hard for me not to look at you and not see my mom. Not to see my cousin's woman who had to come here and sit behind you. She had to have your back. I see my ancestors and yours. Nobody's going to steal the joy of that woman in the street, or the calls that I'm getting, or the texts. Nobody's going to steal that joy. You have earned this spot. You are worthy. You are a great American. That is the story of how you got to this desk. And so you faced insults here that were shocking to me. Well, actually not shocking. But you are here because of that kind of love. And nobody's taken this away from me. So you got 5 more folk to go through. 5 more of us. And then you can sit back and let us have all the debates. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a well-charted Senate floor, because it's not going to stop. They're going to accuse you of this and that. Heck, in honor of your person who shares your birthday, you might be called a communist. But don't worry, my sister. Don't worry. God has got you. And how do I know that? Because you're here. And I know what it's taken for you to sit in that seat. Today, you're my star. You are my harbinger of hope. This country is getting better and better and better. And when that final vote happens and you ascend onto the highest court in the land, I'm going to rejoice. And I'm going to tell you right now, the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, will be better because of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Booker. We're going to take a 10-minute break.
Thank you.
And come back.
I think just what you were saying, they attacked her because she was able to answer most of the things they said and respond to it intelligently. She's properly poised, and they wasn't ready for that. So that made them, they start digging and trying to attack more. You see? But that's, did you expect anything else?
I definitely didn't. I didn't expect anything else. I mean, I kind of was disappointed. Disappointed in the respect that I figured that the Republicans would have taken a different tack in how they went after her, and ask her questions that,
Were relevant?
yeah, were relevant, that had merit.
Right.
And had merit. And I know it's only a few of them that went, reflected on decisions that she had made, dissertation,
And,
yeah,
the amount of
different
time
orders,
time
yeah.
they were keeping the people in jail and those things. But those things had nothing to do with the issue at hand. Those were things that they used to try and stir up or row up the masses, as to why she shouldn't be there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for your comments, Rab. I appreciate it. I just wanted to get a different perspective. It's catch of the day. From the water to the pot to your mouth, everything is fresh at Catch of the Day, located on Cookie Point Beach. Enjoy some of your favorite seafood dishes: fresh catch, lobster, hank, and whelks, when in season, as well as surf and turf. They cater to your wishes. While you sit and wait for your food, enjoy the friendly bar and bask in the ambience that is second to none. Enjoy the white sand, sun, and crystal blue water. We are sure the experience will be unique. Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come and enjoy Catch of the Day on Cookie Point Beach.
Shake it up, stop when the clock hits 13. You've been working, but you're flirting with the weekend. You can freak out. 1 in a million. You're a gem, shine when the light grows dim. Sing 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. We got the right stuff. We put the hammer right down. Wanna be like us? You better stick around. If you want it, you gotta prove it. Like we do it.
Simply call her at 777-9831. That's